Right, good evening guys. It's night time here. So 1 week after owning the A7R Mark IV from Sony, was it a worthwhile upgrade from the A7R3? The A7R3 is one hell of a camera. It's an absolute beast. It's quick. You know, the autofocus is pretty fast. I mean, I was shooting owls and stuff with it, and it in flight coming straight towards the camera, it struggled. But side by side, flybys by the birds flying through the trees and stuff from the side angle, 45 degrees kind of thing, was fine. It was only struggled a little bit when it was coming at the camera directly. But then that could have just been lighting conditions and stuff like that. So, and I was obviously shooting wide open rather than sort of f4, f5.6, something like that, which obviously helps with your depth and everything, get things in focus easier. But the camera itself is this A7R Mark IV is just, for me, it's blown my mind. You think the A7R3, couldn't get much better. This camera is bordering the A9 style of way it works. You get no blackout at all when you're shooting high plus on the burst mode, which is I found out today, which is awesome. It's basically just follow your subject and you don't miss anything, which is really cool. The autofocus is definitely miles faster. Not a trouble at all. The live tracking, the eye autofocus, animal and human. It was tracking the eye of the horse today, which the A7R3 couldn't do. It did occasionally, but not particularly accurately. And obviously in humans as well. The way the buttons are laid out, the grip size is nicer. I haven't got huge hands, but it feels nice in the hand, and it's just easy to hold on to. For me, the A7R3, the A7R2, even the A7R, when I had that, I didn't think the grip was bad. But you get used to what you're using, don't you, at the end of the day? So, you know, yeah, you pick up a DSLR. I mean, I've used my friends' Canons and things like that, and you think, bloody hell, these are chunky. And yeah, there was a difference. But the Sonys are smaller, so it's all relative, I guess. But this does feel a lot better in the hand. The button placements are slightly better. This wheel at the front, I find, is absolutely fine. This one's taking a little bit used to get the back where it's come up slightly, where it obviously used to be down here. Well, it felt like it was down here. It's now on the top. Obviously you've got your toggle on and off for that one, and that one's just a push down and twist. You've got your custom buttons at the back, which are great. You also got your dial, but you now got, if you can see that, basically a rough or knurled joystick. It's a lot more obvious to what it is. So if you're in the dark or whatever, you can feel, or you're looking up at your eye, you can feel which buttons are which, so you don't get the wrong way. Movie button seems to have got slightly smaller, but it's out of the way, but it's still easy to get to. Your other buttons over here, your menu and your C3 buttons are the same, but it's brilliant. It feels nicer in the hand, just a little bit. Build quality is definitely improved. It feels more premium. It definitely feels more expensive than the A7R3. We'd expect that because it is. But just build quality generally. You've still got the same flippy out screen, which, to be honest, is fine. Occasionally you want to be able to flip it that way and then bring it up so you can look straight down. As you're getting a bit older, you don't really want to be down in the mud and the grime, but I tend to still be. Wi-Fi tethering, I've connected that to my computer. Haven't tried it yet, but I will do. Need to get a decent strap. These ones are okay, but I need to change it. Paired with the 135 G Master, which is on there now, that lens and that camera together, is something else. Absolutely brilliant. I was blown away by the quality of the images coming out of it. It was just a different world. So it's just, I don't know, it's changed the way I look at my photography a little bit. It just seems a little bit more punchy. Definitely the way the colours and everything are roughly what the A7R3 was, I think. But just everything just looks a little bit better. It's hard to explain why. And a few people have said that on the Facebook groups. You know, is it me, or is the photos need less editing, less you know, time spent on processing and stuff like that, because they just look that much better straight out of the camera? And I think it's true. People are going to laugh at that, but I think because everything's kind of so sorted, it's so, you know, the sharpness and everything's so sharp out of the camera. You don't need to sharpen anything. If you get your exposure correct and everything like that, you know, it is what it is. You know, so editing wise, is going to help with workflow. Yeah. So far, I've been really pleased with it. I've made a couple of balls ups with the focusing and slightly slow shutter speeds, because you've got that 60 megapixel sensor. Even with the IBIS, you've got to be a little bit careful of how if your shutter speed is too slow, you may get a bit of more obvious blurring, because there's so much more detail there that actually it shows or can show. And I noticed that one or two shots this morning, I'd either moved a little bit or stumbled slightly, and it showed up, or my flash gun didn't fire or something like that. I can't remember, but basically I did notice one or two shots where the portrait I was shooting was slightly blurred, but the two shots before that were sharp. So yeah, anyway, apart from that, guys, really pleased with the purchase. So if you've got one on order, or if you want to ask some questions about the camera, quite happy to help and assist. It's a lot of money, yes, but I think in the real world, if you're going to use it and you're going to make money from it, for wildlife and stuff like that, it's going to be amazing, because the detail, especially the big lens on there, is going to be you know, amazing. Macro work as well, because you obviously can go in closer now, and just the sharpness and detail that's there as well is just mad. So that's going to be interesting. And yeah, so anyway, I'm going to put some pictures up now, and you'll be able to have a look and see what I've been up to. Some of the low light stuff at Dungeness turned out rather well. Even at high ISO, it was actually better than I thought it was going to be. Once I pushed it above sort of 12,400, whatever it is, it wasn't particularly pleasant, but up to sort of 6,400 or 5,000, it didn't look too bad at all. That was with the stars and everything, so you'll see them in a second. Like I say, any questions, please ask. Don't forget to click the subscription button, and also a little notification bell as well. Got a few things coming soon as well, which should be good. So please keep watching, and honestly, ask questions. Happy to try and help anybody. Remember the RX10 Mark IV as well. Use that a lot, and hopefully get the GoPro back soon, because that was broken and it's been sent away. So anyway, guys, I shall see you soon, and here are some pictures to have a look at. So that question is the A7R4 as good or better than the A9? In some respects, yes. In some respects, no. Resolution wise, it annihilates the A9, but the usability of the autofocus and some of the sort of presets and things like that, and your buttons and everything, are as good as the A9. I would say autofocus probably not quite there, but it's bloody impressive. Really good. So if you do own this camera, you're never really going to be that disappointed by the autofocus at all. I've not ever thought yet it needs to be faster. It is very fast. The way it tracks and everything like that is unbelievable. And I have used, before anybody says, I have used an A9 quite a few times. People I know have got them, and I've tried them out, you know, for quite a period of time. But it's the resolution on this thing which it really comes out, you know. Just the detail, but it's fast. So you've got your 10 frames per second, so you miss hardly anything. I know it can't do 20 frames per second like the A9 can, but for an all-round camera that is ridiculous in quality, and it's fast, and the buffer's big, and it does pretty good video as well, you know, and just everything just looks that much better. There is definitely a difference between the look of the images compared to the A7R3. I've noticed that, and I know a few other people are saying the same thing. They're like, we can't put your finger on it, but I think it's because they're just that much more punchy. The images just got that much extra kick to them, that actually, you know, the depth and everything just seems to be, you know, more. It's very strange, but it's also a hard thing to comprehend. But when you take the photos yourself, and then you look at them on Photoshop or whatever, and you're thinking, I don't need to do anything to this, you know, at all. You know, a lot of these photos here I've not even touched. I've either leveled them up a little bit, or, you know, just tweaked you know, the brightness or whatever, and hardly done anything. You know, these are shot with the Samyang lenses. That's a 35mm, and I love that picture. And the colour of the clouds and everything, it was a really moody day, but the water and everything was just as was. The colours are literally as it looks there and then. It was quite amazing actually. But as you can see, the resolution is just ridiculous. That's shot with the G Master, the 135. But that's a tiny little hoverfly. This butterfly, his wings are actually backlit by the sun, so that's why they're glowing red a little bit more than you would see. A bee there, one of the flowers, and some of these I've already cropped in already. That's why it's not panning out or anything. But it's just, I don't know, it just works just that much better. I think it's weird. Like I said, it's very difficult to explain why or how. But really pleased on how it's all working, and definitely worth the upgrade. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you know, the A7R3 is absolutely fine," but it is really good. And I'm not going to deny that at all. If they'd never brought out the A7R4, the A7R3 is absolutely amazing. But if now they've got the option to upgrade to the A7R4, it is a different league. Really is. That moorhen actually there, he literally just splashed down, and I literally turned around and it autofocused, locked on, and had that shot as it sort of splashed in. So the pigeon shot, this is, it sounds bizarre, this is one of the best shots I've ever taken. A pigeon, but the colours and everything, just the way it was, it just, don't know. These are straight out of the camera, not edited, not anything. Nothing's touched. This is down the Pet Level Beach, which is in East Sussex. The sun is now, we're in shade. The sun has gone right down behind. It's literally sunset. 35mm Samyang f1.4, and coping absolutely fine. Eye autofocus working on the dog brilliantly, even when he was running around. This shot here is once we wandered off the beach and back up to where the car was. I just saw this pampas grass here, and the sun had gone and the lovely colours were starting, so I took a shot there. This shot here, this was actually taken with a Vivitar 70-210 from like the 1980s, just to see what it was like, and actually it was not too bad. This shot here is, you can see the plane, but you can see the mozzies, like little mosquitoes, and this is actually the shot, and this is what sort of blew my mind. That level of detail is hidden in the shots that you can't even see, you know, on social media side of things. It just, you know, just shows you that. And then once the sun had really gone down and the darkness had happened, I went out to Dungeness, started taking a few pictures here. I think that's the Milky Way there. Yeah, the lighthouse is heavily lit, so it was very difficult to get that shot with stars appearing. This one here, you can see some shooting stars, I think. They're definitely not planes, because the planes were lower and they were flashing, and I took a couple out. This one I just backlit with a torch just inside the building there. This shot here, ISO 1600, and this shot here as well is, I think, 1000. But really impressed on how it dealt with it. Better than I thought. This is ISO 100 with a little bit of lighting from the torch onto the boat there, just to fill it in. But really impressed on how well the camera's actually performed. So yeah, awesome. So that's my kind of thoughts on it, guys. I know it dragged on a little bit, but I just wanted to show you kind of a few shots that I've been doing. And it's kind of a little bit of a range there, and obviously there will be more coming, but really pleased on the upgrade. Obviously it's quite a lot of money to push out, but you know, there's stuff you can do now which you couldn't do before, will obviously pay for itself very quickly, and it's just a win-win situation, I think, with that thing. So don't forget to click the notification bell and the subscribe button, and there'll be a new video coming soon.